What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Tinted Visors podcast. Coming back with episode 9 today. We'll be going over a few more team recaps, try to highlight some teams we haven't touched on yet. We'll be doing a couple player debates between Kenny and I. We'll both take a player, kind of argue why they're better, why we'd want them on our team. We will continue with our weekly segment this week, coming at you with Team Finland, and then, as always, finish up with some trivia. That being said, let's get right into it.
You won't hear a sound. I got 1,000 gunmen turning up, but they will gun you down.
But just before we get going today, as always, we'll be doing some card of the day. I'll go first today, and I'm running out of hockey cards out here, so we're going to go with a football card. And my favorite team is the Miami Dolphins, so we're going to pull out a Jalen Waddle. I don't know too much about it. I think it's a elite. It's a rookie card. It is numbered 114 out of 275. It's got the Dolphins colors, and I like how he's still wearing his Alabama jersey, something I wish the NHL, maybe Upper Deck, would consider. Just with junior jerseys, NHL colors really pops.
It's a sick card. Football and basketball always bring out really cool cards with the prism sort of design, the shiny, glossy kind of designs. But I'll go next. So usually we do hockey cards. Caden didn't do a hockey. I'm not going to do a card. But we just improvise. This week I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Lightning game puck signed by Anthony Cirelli. Super cool item. Got it actually at a raffle from work, so shout out to work. I'm going to work on getting a display for it, putting it up on my desk and everything. It's honestly such a cool thing to have, and I'm going to hold on to it as long as I can.
No, absolutely. Tampa's your favorite team, and having a signed puck by Cirelli at raffle at work, like, what a dream come true, right? It only makes sense that you want it.
Moving on, we're going to go into more weekly recaps. I'm going to start with one of the more disappointing teams. We're going to go with the New York Islanders. Perennial playoff team. They always make it. They always maybe win a couple rounds every year. But right now they're sporting a 5-6-5 record, and it starts with the goaltending. Ilya Sorokin, a 328 goals against average and a 907 save percentage. Not his numbers, not really up to his standards, considering how elite of a goaltender that he is. They got Noah Dobson having a great year. But when you're leading point scorers, a D-man, it means your forwards got to step up. Barzal and Horvat aren't short behind, but they need to get a little more production.
And it does start between the pipes with Sorokin. One of the top goalies in the league needs to have better numbers than that, quite frankly. And we know the Islanders do play a defensive system, but that's no excuse for these forwards. Horvat's making 8-5. He was brought in to be, a point per game player and play with Barzal. And they're not too far behind Dobson, but if this top six steps up, I do believe it'll spark some action from the bottom six. And the Islanders, I think they're okay. I think they'll still be able to be competing for a wild card spot.
Staying in the same division, going to the flip side, more surprising teams. We've got the Washington Capitals. A couple of years ago, one of the best teams in the league, obviously. But they have regressed since. But right now, they're sporting an 8-4-2 record. It's looking pretty good, but it's surprising they don't have any point-per-game players. Ovi's leading the way, but he's just under a point per game. And the starting goaltender, Darcy Kemper, he's got an under 900 save percentage. I don't know where the wins are coming from, but they're pulling them out, and they'll take it.
Ovi did get off to an extremely slow start to start the year, and he has picked up the pace quite a bit in the few recent games. But yeah, like you said, Darcy Kemper, it is a bit weird. Haven't really been watching some Capitals hockey. Can only imagine maybe some puck luck, maybe some team effort, some depth scoring coming in. But I don't know if it's super sustainable. We will have to watch Washington in a tough division in the Metro. They'll maybe, if they keep this up, they'll maybe be competing for a 3 spot, maybe a wild card. But I do see them missing the playoffs this year. But it is cool to watch a little resurgence from an older Capitals squad.
Flipping to the Central, we've got the Minnesota Wild off to a slow start. 5-8-2 right now, but their big boys are leading the way. Kaprizov, Zuccarello, the usual suspects. Even Patrick Maroon, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, he's got 9 points right now. Problem for them is the goaltending. What looks like a great tandem on paper? Fleury's got a 341 goals against average, and Gustafsson's got a 464 goals against average. They're over in Sweden right now. They brought Wallstead with them. Maybe he'll have a hot start, but right now their goaltenders got to pick up the weight.
And like you said, on paper, looks like a very solid goalie tandem. Fleury is getting up there in age, so this is kind of expected, the regression a bit. But Philip Gustafsson, had a great year last year, and you would expect that to continue. So it's a little shocking to see such a slow start out of him. But I do expect him to pick it up. And this Wild team, they're built like a playoff team. They are a playoff team. I still see them 3 seed at best, 2 seed maybe. Wild card at worst case scenario, but I really can't see them missing the playoffs this year.
Stay in the same division. We did mini. Let's go do Winnie. We'll go do the Jets. 8-5-2 right now. Bit of a surprise. Connor's leading the way with 20 points, not a surprise. Shifley close behind with 18, but it's really their depth that's sort of picking up the weight here. Perfetti, 13 points. Iafallo, a pickup, 13 points. Niederreiter's got 10 points as well. They're all, providing that second, third line scoring right now. Hellebuck, not doing too well. 894 save percentage and a 299 goals against average. I do expect those numbers to get a little better throughout the season, and if they do, I think they can maintain this pace.
And like you said, the losses of Pierre-Luc Dubois and even Blake Wheeler this offseason, there was some slack that needed to be picked up, and this depth is really showing it. Even the injury to Gabe Vilardi, when he comes back, this Jets forward core it's deep. They have depth scoring up and down the lineup, and they could creep into the playoffs. And once they get in, who knows what could happen? If Hellebuck hits a stride at the right time, this Jets team could even make a run.
Finishing off, the recaps of the first 14, 15 games into the season. Got a little question for you, Caden. Want to talk about some players. Who are you more happy for? Alex Lafreniere or Quinton Byfield?
Both young guys. You could say Lafreniere was a little more like in a panic situation, kind of a last chance scenario. So I'm gonna say Alexis Lafreniere. Having a great start to his year. 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. He's finally getting an opportunity. Playing some top 6 minutes, getting to play with some of those skilled Ranger forwards, and he's showing that he still has it in him. And I hope he can keep this pace. He's on pace for 40 goals right now. Would be a great breakout year for Laf, and just overall, just great for the Rangers.
Yeah, no disrespect to Byfield at all. He's having a great season, but I do think he broke out a little bit last season. So I think Lafreniere has a little more of a surprise, or a little more of the relief early this season. And like you said, 40 goal pace. That's awesome. Adding that to a deep Rangers squad. I do expect that to fall off, maybe hopefully around the 30, 35 goal range. But yeah, happy for both guys. Former 1 and 2 picks overall, and they're both having a great start. Going to the next segment, we're going to do some lively debates, player versus player. First one, we're going to go with a Matthews versus McKinnon debate. I'm going to go with Poppy. I'm going to go with Austin Matthews. I'm a numbers guy, so I'll read out some numbers for you. 496 games played, 312 goals, an insane stat. 249 assists for 561 points. In the playoffs, it does go down in points per game. He's got 50 games played, 22, 22, and 44 points. He did have a 60-goal season back in 21-22 in just 73 games played. A couple rewards he's gotten: the Calder, 2 Rockets, a Hart Trophy, and a Ted Lindsay Trophy. The numbers speak for itself. I think he's one of the best players in the world right now. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Leafs fan, so I don't want to gas him up just too much. But his release is second to none. His defense is very underrated and very good. His hands are insane. Some of his highlights that he puts on, some of the deeks, the jukes that he does are just crazy. The one thing McKinnon does have on him is, the playoff performance and the cup that goes with it. So I think he does need to step it up in the playoffs. They do, sort of go after him and Marner in the playoffs when things go bad for the Leafs. Those guys are the scapegoats. So I think, a little more clutch performances are needed for him. A little better point per game in the playoffs is needed from him. But, speaking of those numbers, the shot that he has, the goal totals that he has, I think he's a better player.
All right, on the flip side, I'll be taking Mac Daddy. We got Nathan McKinnon. Has been in the league a bit longer. He has 724 games played, 290 goals, 489 assists for a total of 779 points. So well above point per game. And McKinnon, one of the best skaters in the league, maybe only second to McDavid. That acceleration is truly special, and it's when you watch, it's crazy when you watch him pick up a puck. It's something really special. Moving on, something I like about McKinnon more than Matthews is the playmaking. I think McKinnon really takes an advantage there, and he elevates those around him. Matthews is a pure goal scorer. He's going to put the puck in the net for you. McKinnon kind of builds those up around him, and he makes everyone around him better. McKinnon's career high in assists, 69 assists, compared to Matthews' career high, only 46. The numbers speak for themselves, and one place Matthews does have an edge, other than the shot, is the personal awards. Obviously, he has a couple Rockets in there. Mac doesn't have those. He has the Lady Byng, a Calder Trophy as well, but something that Mac has that Austin Matthews will never get with the Toronto Maple Leafs is a Stanley Cup. Mac really stepped up. He led that Avs team a couple seasons ago to that Stanley Cup, and he showed the superstar that he is in this league. He really deserved that cup. Led the Avs alongside Makar, Rantanen, And, the leadership factor is another reason I'd really like Mac over Matthews. He's showed that he can step up in big moments in the playoffs, whereas Matthews hasn't really showed that. And so, yeah, overall, I do think McKinnon is just a better player than Austin Matthews.
Yeah, two fair arguments. Not disagreeing about the Leafs comment. I don't think he's going to win it there either. But the two highest paid players in the year in the NHL next year. They go head to head. Let us know who you guys think is the better player, and we'll move on to the next one.
So yeah, just moving on to our second and final debate of the day. We have Mo Seider of the Detroit Red Wings going up against Charlie McAvoy of the Boston Bruins. But I'll start. I will be going with Mo Seider. His time in the league has been a lot shorter than Charlie McAvoy's. He's entering his third season. But in those 2 seasons that he's played, he has 180 games played, 13 goals, 90 assists for 103 points. The only award he has is a Calder Trophy. But like I said, third season in the league. I think he's a D-man with a very high ceiling. Big body, loves to throw the body, loves playing a very physical game, solid two-way game. And I do see the offensive approach improving down the line. And the biggest difference between Seider and McAvoy, other than I think Seider has more potential than McAvoy, is McAvoy's played in the league. He's entering his 7th season. And Charlie McAvoy has yet to play 82 games in a season. Mo Seider in his 2 seasons, 82 games both years. Kenny, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have the D-man who's on the ice playing than the one who's up in the press box injured every year. They're both very similar D-man. I do think Seider, obviously the younger D-man, I think he's going to improve and eventually leap past McAvoy if Charlie McAvoy continues to get injured and miss games every year.
Yeah, going with the flip side, I'm going to go with Charlie McAvoy. If the only argument you can make is the games played, then I think I got this in the bag. But I'll read out some numbers for you. We got 391 games played, 43 goals, 198 assists for 241 points. In the playoffs in 78 games, he's got 42 points, so he's good for about half a point a game. Past couple of seasons, 5 of the past 6 seasons, he's a plus 20. Very good plus minus. Past 2 seasons, he's got 45 plus assists in both of them. He knows how to play the puck. He knows how to, find the open man, really run the power play as a quarterback. He also knows how to throw his body. He throws the hits. Very good defensive numbers, very good offensive numbers. Point per game so far this season. He did get suspended for a bit. That might be why he's got a lower games played. But, he's a solid two-way defenseman. Past few seasons, he's been one of the better defensemen in the league, I would argue. And he's the number 1 guy, great leadership as well. If Marchand didn't get the C, I'm sure he would have gotten it. I think he's next in line. And I think he can really lead that Boston D core for a long time. I do see him having a better career than Seider. I do, think maybe right now the ceiling is a little higher for Seider, but he's not necessarily going to hit that. And I think, the consistency that McAvoy has, points-wise and plus-minus-wise, I think that I would take that over Mo Seider.
Super compelling argument for a much more established D-man. But yeah, guys, let us know who you would rather have on your team, Mo Seider or Charlie McAvoy. 2 great D-men, and I'm sure any team in the league would be happy to have either of these D-men on their team, especially in a day and age where right shot D-men are a little harder to come by.
Going to the next segment, it may be one of our favorite segments apart from the trivia. We're going to go with another draft. 3 forwards, 2 D, and a goalie. The category here is it has to be all defensemen. So you're going to take defensemen on your right wing, on your left wing, at center, and in net. Best of luck. Let's get it going. Going to go a little creative. We're going to go maybe a little shot at Caden. We're going to go with Quinner, and we're going to put him at my center position. I think he's got the face-offs in him. Definitely got the, the offensive mind in him. And, I think he's going to be great in that C spot.
No, absolutely. And he grew up with Luke and Jack. He's surely taken some face-offs in his childhood. So I really like that pick. Cannot believe you took Quinn. Totally threw me off. So for my next 2 picks, for my first pick, I think he'll play right D. We're going to go Cale Makar, one of the best D-men in the game currently, and I think giving him that room to skate will help. And little under the radar pick here, but we're going to lock this guy up before you take him. So for my right wing spot, we're going to go Brent Burns. Used to play forward. He's got the experience. Modern day power forward, Brent Burns, we'll take it.
That was a good picks. I didn't want Makar. But I'm going to go with my right wing, and I'm going to go with Adam Fox. I think a right shot D-man, I think that can translate to a right winger. got the offensive stats for it, and I think the defense position depth is pretty deep. So I'm gonna go with my left wing. I think I'm gonna go with Josh Morrissey.
Ooh, okay. I like that pick. So for me here, I think we'll take our left wing spot. This isn't going to be a super fast team up front, but we're actually going to go Victor Hedman for the left wing spot. Bigger guy. The defensive game has fallen off a bit this year, so he won't have to play as much defense when he's playing left wing. And I think we're going to take our center spot here. We're going to go with Eric Carlson. Great offensive mind. I think he can play down the middle in between two very large Brent Burns and Victor Hedman.
Picks. Definitely wanted Hedman, but I'll go with my two defensemen. We'll go lefty. We'll go Roman Yossi, and then on the right side, we're gonna go with Rasmus Dahlin.
That's who I was gonna take. So for my left D spot, we're gonna be taking Miro Heiskanen. And for the goalie spot, we're just gonna stick with the trend that this team's pretty big. We're actually gonna go with Dougie Hamilton to go between the pipes. If he's not a great goalie, at least he's got the size. He should be able to stop some pucks. But yeah, Dougie Hamilton between the pipes.
Those are good picks. He's got the long legs for it. He can probably reach out and stop any side to side passes. Finishing off with the goalie, I could go with the statistical route and go with a guy like Mark Giordano for most block shots. But I'm going to go with the jokes. I'm going to go with the size. Big, bulky guy. I'm going to go with Radko Gudas in net for my goaltender. I think with the pads, he's going to look even bigger. I think he's going to stop a lot of pucks. And I think my team's ready to go.
Well, let us know down below, guys, which team you like more. A little bit of a silly concept, but Kenny and I surely enjoyed that one. All right, guys, so just moving on to our weekly segment, the Olympic roster predictions. And this week we have Team Finland. So, as usual, we will not be doing any forward lines, just a top six forward group, bottom six forward group, and same thing with the D-men. So, let's get right into it. Our top six forwards, we will start with Rupe Hintz, Sebastian Aho, Mikko Rantanen, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Alexander Barkov, and Teuvo Teravainen.
Yeah, it's a pretty good top six. Could compete with teams like Sweden and maybe up there with Canada and USA. But the bottom six, we've got guys like Capo Kakko, Anton Lundell, Patrick Laine, Machelli coming out of Arizona, Eric Haula, and Arturi Lehkonen, with guys like Eli Tolvanen, and Parsonen on the sidelines, just on that bubble. Maybe they can get in a couple of years, but we have them out for right now.
No, absolutely. And if those two last guys you mentioned kind of develop, they are a bit younger, they could easily make this team. And yeah, Finland's forward top six group, like you said, it's up there with the best of them. But where they kind of do fall off is their bottom six. It is a solid bottom six, but the Team USA depth and the Team Canada depth, it's truly unmatched. So Finland does always seem to show up in these international competitions, so definitely an exciting forward group to watch. So just moving on to the D-men. The top four D-men will be Esa Lindell, Miro Heiskanen, Henri Jokiharju, and Juuso Välimäki. It's sufficient, it's stable, but this is kind of where Finland does fall off into more of a B tier team as opposed to an A tier team with Team Canada, Team USA. It's not a terrible top four, but it's nothing special other than Heiskanen, just some very solid D-men.
Yeah, like you said, Heiskanen's going to lead the way. It does fall off, especially with these next couple guys. Ville Heinola and Vakanainen as the bottom pair. And then some honorable mentions, you can go with more experience, maybe more defensive guys like Ole Mata and Jani Hakanpää, and even guys like Mikkola who could squeak in there as well. But the depth is lacking there, like the bottom six and the forwards, but especially here with the defense. It could be where teams expose them, but hopefully they can shut the door.
So yeah, just moving on. Finally, we got the goalies. And in my opinion, this is definitely where Finland shines and where they could steal some games. So the starting goalie, we have Jussi Saros, one of the best goalies in the game right now. He's going to be in his prime come the Olympics, and he can really, if he's on his game, can steal some games for this Team Finland squad.
Yeah, top goalie. May need to stand on his head for multiple games. But backing him up, we got a guy like Pekka Luukkonen, UPL over in Buffalo. In a couple of years, we think he can really shine. And then even Korpisalo out of Ottawa, we think he can maybe still the backup, but could be a very reliable third string. A couple other goalies to note, though. Ville Husso, if he can turn the numbers around in Detroit, I think he could squeak in there. He's still pretty young. He's still got some potential. And then even Antti Ranta, he's going to be pretty old by then. But if they want to bring that veteran sort of experience into the lineup, especially with, younger goalies that they do have, I think they could maybe give him a shot. Like we keep saying, it's a little bit of a little weaker squad compared to the ones that we've done already. But like Caden said earlier, Finland always tends to show up. They always tend to surprise some teams, especially in World Juniors. They always tend to surprise Canada. But we're excited to see what happens with them. We're excited to see who they take. But for now, that's our roster. Now moving on, we're going to go into our favorite segment. We're going to hit some trivia.
All right, so for my first question for you, I've actually just sent you a photo. And it's got the 5 positions, the 6 positions on the ice. And you'll see some flags. So the challenge is going to be, can you name which team this is based on their starting lineup's nationalities? And just a note, this does include injuries. So injured players are not on this.
So the Swedish D-man's a little intriguing, especially on that left D spot. Kind of thinking of, like a Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh maybe. It's tougher than I thought it would be.
What are we thinking here? What are we leaning towards?
Kind of like an Edmonton right now.
Okay.
With Ekholm on that D spot. You got Skinner in net, McDavid obviously center. I feel like a lot of the goalies right now just aren't Canadian.
Right.
You come back to Philly with Carter Hart in net. I just don't know if they have a Swedish defenseman. Is a Swedish defenseman. We just did Sweden. I can't remember any of the defensemen that we put on that team. It's not Boston or Buffalo. Because Dahlin is a right D, right?
I don't know. I got this lineup off Daily Faceoff, so.
Thompson would be Thompson's injured. So it could be Cousins, Skinner, Tuck, Dahlin. I don't know who plays with them, and then Carter Hart.
Carter Hart.
Sorry, Devin Levi.
Oh, this guy's really thinking right now.
Just because I have no guesses. Is it Buffalo?
This is the Buffalo Sabres. Is
Is it Dahlin?
Rasmus Dahlin. He shoots left. He's listed as a left D-man.
Okay, yeah, then that's totally my bad. For some reason, I thought he was a right D-man.
But, you nailed the forwards. Skinner, Cousins, Tuck from left to right. And the other D-man is Matthias Samuelsson. So that wasn't really going to help.
Yeah, okay.
But Devin Levi between the pipes. That took you a lot long. I thought you were going to get it when you said Rasmus Sandin. I was like, oh, he's right there. But
we're definitely going to speed it up. But for those of you watching, it took me a lot longer than I'd like to admit. But that was a good one. I really like those types of graphics with the nationalities. I'm usually pretty good at them, but clearly not.
Or so you thought. Okay.
We're going to go with just a simple 3-hint player.
Sure.
Pretty award heavy though.
Okay.
So the first hint is that he's played with one team his entire NHL career. He has 3 Selkies to his name. And right now you might be thinking of a certain player out of Boston, but this player has 2 cups to his name.
2 cups, 3 Selkies, says all it needs, 1 player. We're going to lock in Anze Kopitar of the LA Kings.
Anze Kopitar is incorrect. That is very close. It's very vague hints, but Kopitar does have 2 Selkies.
But is he currently playing, this season?
He hasn't played for a while, actually.
Oh, no, okay, never mind. Well, I was thinking Jonathan Taves, but I think he's got more than 2 cups. Well, I was thinking Pavel Datsyuk, but I don't remember if he ever actually won a Selkie. So is it Pavel Datsyuk? It's not, right?
It is.
It's Pavel Datsyuk. Oh yeah. My God, there we go.
3 Selkies, 2 cups. Detroit all the way. That is a good guess. Wasn't confident in the guess, but you got it. Doesn't matter.
All right, Kenny. My next question for you. I'm going to give you a player, and you just have to tell me their career path. Just name the teams he's played for. Sounds pretty easy. So, first time we're doing this, I'm going to go with the player who's played for both our teams. We're going to go Ian Cole.
God.
And just for reference, he's played.
In order?
No, it doesn't have to be in order because this one's hard.
Okay.
He's played for 8 teams.
Okay. Tampa.
Yep.
Vancouver.
Easy.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Carolina.
Yes.
Columbus.
Yes.
Some strong Minnesota vibes right now. I'll go Minnesota.
Minnesota's correct. That is a
Okay.
team.
Give me St. Louis.
St. Louis Blues is correct. Was drafted by the St. Louis Blues. One team
Okay.
left.
Okay.
This is impressive. This is really good stuff.
Got a little bit of Florida. Um. Ooh, Colorado.
Is that a guess?
That is a guess.
Colorado Avalanche is correct. Wow.
There we go.
He goes 8 for 8 on Ian Cole's career path. That's insane because I honestly don't remember half these teams he played for. So,
We'll go to the next one. It's another 3-hint guess the player. Like I said, it's pretty heavy award based. So this player retired in the past 5 or 6 years or so. 4 cups to his name. Played for 5 teams, starting in Anaheim in the 03-04 season and ending with Chicago Blackhawks. And on top of the 4 cups, he does have a gold medal to his name.
4 cups. And he played for how many teams? 5?
Played for 5 teams, starting in 03-04.
I think I was thinking Bobby Ryan, but it's definitely didn't play for that many teams, and I don't think he would have won 4 cups. Did he win his first cup with Anaheim?
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Yeah. Patrick Sharp didn't start with the Ducks, and he definitely didn't play in 18-19. Ryan Getzlaff, but has Bro really played? No, he finished with Anaheim. Oh, Pittsburgh! Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, we're gonna lock in Chris Kunitz.
It is Chris Kunitz.
Oh man.
I think if you had Pittsburgh early, I think you would have got that a lot earlier.
I was
It's a
thinking
tough
like
one.
I was thinking early 2010s just for the cups. So I totally left Pittsburgh out, but no, that was a good one. That was great. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Support means a lot. Ken and I really enjoy doing these, so we hope you're enjoying watching them. If you are, yeah, it was a lot of fun today. Kenny, you got anything?
Not really. Obviously next week we're gonna come up with number 10, big double digits. But so far it's been great. It's been fun. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, guys. Thanks again. See you next week. Take care.
You won't hear a sound. I got 1,000 gunmen turning up, but they will gun you down.